Welcome back to the SCIF. I'm Matt. That's Stu. We are the Green Beret Life. Thank you for joining us. We got a pretty chock full show tonight. Stu, what do you have lined up for everybody, for the boys and girls out there?
Well, there's a little bit for everybody on tonight's show. There's news breaking on all fronts with politics, immigration, everything. There's one thing that's come out. I think they actually released the story kind of broke Friday, but nothing really came of it as happened on Friday news breaks. But apparently there's news come out with the whole Russia Gate hoax and all that appears to directly implicate Obama being involved in it. And we're gonna talk about that. There is the biggest story right now pertaining to ICE and illegal immigrants are this Border Patrol agent that was shot in the face in New York. It appears to be a robbery attempt.
I thought it was an ambush.
No, for one of the stories I saw was saying he wasn't in uniform, he wasn't on duty. He just happened to be a Border Patrol agent, which is honestly probably the only reason the story is getting as much traction as it is. Because we've got another 6 stories of random illegal bullshit that you really have to hunt to find, because it's unfortunately become so commonplace. It isn't news. It's just a Tuesday.
You know why you're saying this? I want to make a point, because this isn't one of our stories, but it just reminded me. Right now, a shitload of rhino Republicans are signing on with the Democrats for something called the Dignity Act. Have you heard about this, Stu?
No, I haven't.
The Dignity Act basically is going to allow anybody who came here before 2021 to stay here, right?
No.
Yes, and that's what they're trying. It's a de facto amnesty, and
it's not even de facto. It's by definition.
Yep, and
Jesus.
and there's a ton. That's Salazar down in Florida. That Don Bacon, or whatever his name. It's the usual suspects. Rhinos in the house that are signing on to this. This is really scary. We need to get out ahead of this. Next week, we'll do a little deeper dive into this and see if we can get a call to arms, because these congressmen need to be contacted. They need to be fucking primaried. I think we all know this, right?
Yeah.
But I just wanted to touch base on that, and maybe we'll do a deeper dive next week on this. But it's the Dignity Act. If anybody out there wants to look it up, take a look and breathe deep. Do some box breathing before, because it's going to piss you off.
Dignity Act 2025. I don't even want to look at it. I'll get so spun up on it, but a bipartisan immigration reform bill. No, it's not immigration reform if you're offering amnesty.
That's what the deep state, who wants these immigrants here, that's what they call it, immigration reform, because that's how they can sell it to the public.
Did you see? Did you see this interview with Hunter Biden where he's all trying to be hard, talking about the image? Yeah. Who's gonna wash your clothes? Who's gonna clean your house? Who's like, oh, so you're really saying you're for slavery without saying you're for slavery? I mean, it's like I was listening that it's like, one, he's trying to sound all hard. He's like all cursing in it and all this, trying to. It's like, dude, you're not that guy. But I'm like,
he's definitely not that guy.
Who are we going to import to wash your clothes and to clean your house and to scrub your toilet?
He was the guy that couldn't hack it for more than a few weeks in the Navy Reserve, the Naval Reserve. I mean, that's the guy he is. So
kicked out for cocaine in the Navy Reserve.
Yeah, so they said.
But like I said, we've got several different stories with ICE and these illegal immigrants. And the thing I like, or the reason I bring these stories up, is because it really puts a spotlight on these people that the Democrats are, like right now, they're wanting to pass these amnesty laws to keep these people in the country.
And Rhino
these are
Republicans, don't let them off. Rhino they get nowhere without Republicans. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And we've got a commenter on YouTube. He says the conservatives in the Republican Party are a problem for immigration. And you're right. That's exactly what Matt was saying. Is they don't get anywhere. It amazes me how when the Republicans have the majority, I don't even want to say when the Republicans have power, because to have power, it's the power comes when you exercise your authority. They never exercise their authority, so they don't have power. But at any point in time when the Republicans have the majority, they don't do anything. They just sit. And the Democrat, I think the Democrats sometimes get more done when they're the party out of the majority than they do when they're the party in the majority. It boggles the mind.
You definitely have a point with that. It's one of these things that we need to take control of this. I think more people than ever are on to the Rhino grift. Okay. I don't think they're going to get away with this. Okay. But we got to fight this. We've got to fight, because I don't trust the Senate at all. We've got Murkowski, Collins. We still have Mitch McConnell and a bunch of other Rhino goons, in the Senate too. They're a little more out in the open, but we can't allow these House members to pretend that they're MAGA and then get away with this. It's pretty much the whole contingent from Southeast Florida is all involved with this. All these Republicans down, like I said, that Salazar and the whole crew down there.
I'm telling you, man, we need to go back to we need to implement.
Diaz, that's the other one. Ballard Diaz is on that. Don Bacon, the whole crew, the whole Rhino crew is getting on board.
We need to do away with the dress code for Congress and just have them wear the suits like NASCAR, where they're walking around with all of their sponsors.
I saw that meme before. Who owns
that would be individuals? that would tell the tale. And if you're called, and the size of the sponsor logo is directly proportional to the money they donate. And if you're caught without one on there, you go to jail, directly to jail, and not pass go.
Do you know how you do that? You limit the amount of money that you can spend in a campaign, and then you'll get better candidates too. You limit the amount of money so that these people can't come in and spend $40 million and buy a seat like that guy John Corzine did a few years ago, and like a lot of them are doing, So I think you limit the amount of money for a congressional seat to some pretty low number. And it's like, okay, now the Republicans are going to push. They'll have X number of dollars to push you, and the Democrats will have X number of dollars to push their their candidate, and may the best person win.
Well, I say you're not you do that. You do that, Matt, and you limit it to within the state only.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point.
Why is somebody from Arizona or California or New York influencing who my representative is in my state?
Oh, here's another thing that reminded me of, because another thing that's going around is you must be an American citizen or born here, okay, in order to run for office. Did you see what happened in Minneapolis just a couple days ago?
I did see there was another, and I was going to bring that up too. We're really starting to look like England, aren't we? The mayor of every large city is a foreign-born.
It's a Somali. It's a Somali in Minneapolis, and Jacob Fry, the incumbent, right? The Democrats chose this Somali kid over Jacob Fry. Now I'm going to tell you something about Minneapolis. The only real Jewish community in Minneapolis is a suburb called St. Louis Park, and pretty much the only Jewish community in all of Minnesota. In 2023, they elected. Okay, now mind you, that's in Ilhan Omar's district, by the way. But in 2023, in St. Louis Park, which is an extremely high Jewish population, right? They elected a 27-year-old, 26, 27-year-old Somali immigrant female as their mayor, right? Minnesota is gone. It is absolutely gone.
I know it's the wrong attitude to have, but it's almost like, hey, you deserve the government you elect. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Well, this new mayoral candidate who's going to win, right? He's out there basically talking about Somalia as being home, right?
yeah.
And saying that they're going to create a bridge between Somalia and basically the United States via Minneapolis, right? And if you listen to Ilhan Omar, if you listen to the translated speeches she gives to her Somali community, and you listen to this individual giving the speeches to his Somali community, which is the same community, right? You hear they're not Americans. You know what I mean?
No.
That's what you interpret from the speeches. That's what one could interpret from the speech. They are Somalis first, right? And
Well,
if you know Islam, you know exactly where I'm going with this
well,
whole deal.
the thing is, Matt, like we've said before, in the past, people came to America because they wanted to be Americans.
Hmm.
Now they come to America because they want what America has to provide.
Hmm.
They have no intention, no inclination, no desire to
Or they're here
assimilate.
to push, or they're here to push their ideology, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not here to assimilate. Otherwise you wouldn't have all of these enclaves of that where English isn't spoken, where signage is in whatever language that community speaks.
Hmm.
That's not coming here to assimilate and become American. That's
Correct.
coming here to be whatever ethnicity or race you are in America.
And then get all the
They're
gimme
two
dads, get
very,
all the
very different
handouts in the
things.
meantime, like we're a bunch of suckers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as we're doing it, why not?
Hmm.
I mean, if I could find a place to go that was better than my home and I could milk them for, the equivalent of tens of thousands of dollars a year, be stupid not to.
Yeah.
As
It's
long as
it's
we'll continue to
it's
do
such
it.
it's such a shame. I last week I went on Thursdays. I've been going down and shooting USPSA down in the Twin Cities, and I drive the back way. I go down by the river, the St. Croix River, where I go through St. Croix Falls, Taylor's Falls, then down into Stillwater. It's such a beautiful freaking state, and it'll just piss you off saying why did they give this away? Why did they do this? Because the
Yep.
state is gone. It is gone. Not just Minneapolis, St. Paul, the state is gone. Every small to mid-sized city has been flooded with third world migrants. Every single one of them. And how they do it is they go and find the big business in town, and the state does a deal with the big business in town and brings in this case, Somalis, right? And they pay them very little at the factory, and then the state subsidizes their housing, their medical care, everything. So it's like they're out there making a really good paying job and working for minimum wage. That's what they live like. But
Well,
it displaces everybody else in that town out.
and then they'll say, Matt, oh well, these are jobs Americans won't do. Well, no,
Exactly.
Americans aren't going
After
to
they
do
drove
that job
after they
for
drove the wages down to where,
exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Because the American, the citizen, isn't going to get all of the government handouts and kickbacks and everything. So he's like, I can't do this job for $12 an hour, $13 an hour. But
well, you know
because
what
of the
this
deals that are made, they're making the equivalent of probably 20, 25, $30 an hour because of all the kickbacks and
exactly.
subsidizations that they're getting.
Plus, they're making that plus. And check this out. The only way to do it is to go after the companies that make these
Yes.
deals with the state. That is the only way to do it. Like we had talked about last year when Tyson was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing it down in Indiana, getting rid of all of their employees and replacing them with illegal immigrants because the government had done some backdoor deal. This is nothing but subversion of our country. That's what it is by the deep
Well,
state
and
players.
it's that's the ironic isn't the right word, but because it's just it makes us it's the government sponsored subversion of the country.
Hmm.
The country is sponsoring the the undoing of itself. It's like
And you
wake
know what's
up.
really do you know what's really funny about all of this? The areas where they do this, okay, are out in the country in conservative areas. Isn't that funny? And you're all of a sudden bringing a massive population of
Yeah.
third world immigrants. Oh, I wonder what they're doing there. What are they trying? They're changing the demographic of the rural communities that they're
Well, and
destroying by
again,
doing this.
it
Yes.
it changes quickly because of the anchor baby.
Hmm. Oh,
You
oh yeah.
know,
And it's not even Anchor Baby. They do deals where they go and get their grandparents and shit back
yeah,
from Somalia or wherever they're coming from. All anybody has to do is go downtown to HCMC, the big medical center downtown, and just take a walk through the hallways there and tell me what you see, right? Uh, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at what are what new Minnesotans look like, right? Because that's
mm,
what that hospital's servicing, right? It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. I remember being on the elevator when I was in the brain program down there, right? I was on the elevator and there was this blind Somali girl that got on. And I remember one of the hospital workers and the nurse said, "Look, we're going to get you checked out here. Then we're going to get you over to Catholic Charities to get your immigration status sorted out. And then da 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 da." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" You
a
know?
whole program, a whole pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah. And this I my family's really Catholic and I'm really Catholic. But Catholic Charities is a freaking disaster. And absolutely, and they're not the only one. Every major religion, Lutheran ministries, you go down the line, they've all done these deals with the Barack Obama administration, the Joe Biden administration, where they're making millions to help
Yeah,
them subvert our country
that's what I'm saying. It's
from within.
bringing in money for not necessarily the individual houses of worship, but it's
Yeah.
bringing in the money for the institution of that religion.
What really you look at how even the institutions are getting perverted because what do what do they how do they treat Christians in Somalia, right? And how do they treat Christians down there? So you're going to bend over backwards and bring it's just it makes no it does make sense. It's about destruction and it's about money. That's
Yeah.
that's what it's about. The people that are really behind it are about destruction. The people that they co-opt to help them get it done are about money.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
hey, do you want to stay on YouTube for the duration, or do you
Oh
want to
shit,
move over to Rumble?
we might as well. Probably already going to get a strike. So,
That's probably
yeah,
true. But
yeah,
and
we'll stay
Matt and
on
I
it
got
for a
off on
little
a
bit longer.
yeah, we got off on a little bit of a tangent, but one of the other stories we have, you remember it was really back during COVID, towards the end of COVID, with all of the online schools, when parents actually realized what their teachers are teaching
Yeah,
in the classroom,
yeah,
and
they would see on the computer. Yeah,
all these parents started showing up at school board meetings going, "Wait a minute." And the school board was like, "You have no authority here. These are our children, not yours."
exactly.
Well, documents have come out that the Biden Justice Department was looking for basically what they're calling a federal hook, something they could take and construe as a federal crime to go after these parents as domestic terrorists. Again, these are parents showing up to their school board because they're concerned about what's going on, and the Biden DOJ, they have nothing else to worry about, nothing else going on in the world, in the nation. Their goal is to paint, or not paint, their goal is to find a way to prosecute these parents as domestic terrorists because they're speaking up for their children.
Yeah, that whole I'm telling you, I feel in my bones it's coming. You're starting to see some things that even we're going to talk about tonight. You're starting to see a breakdown of how corrupt that whole system was. In one of the
Dude.
other stories that we took, it's gonna finger out that guy Merrick Garland was such. Oh my lord, was he a piece of work?
Oh,
And
a smarmy, just
yep.
so. And
So
I hate to be that way, but it's like, just has that face that needs it.
yeah.
It's
Oh yeah. He's. I think they're getting the bigger fish before him, but they're going to get to him because
it was it Mike Tyson or not? I don't know if it was attributed to Mike Tyson. Some people have gotten entirely too comfortable talking smack behind the keyboard. He'd gotten
yeah,
entirely too comfortable being smarmy behind a microphone.
yeah, for
Needed somebody to
representing
snatch a knot.
whoever was running the Biden administration. And now we're seeing
Mm,
more and more. It wasn't Joe Biden. We're seeing
no.
this more and more.
Uh,
Obviously, it wasn't. Didn't that interview? Because I didn't watch the interview with Hunter that you were talking about before. I heard about it. Didn't in that interview he basically admitted his dad isn't capable of pretty much anything.
well, I caught bits and pieces of it in clips. I know he had talked about, or when he went on his rant about why we need illegal immigrants to wash his underwear and clean his
Yeah,
toilet, and then he
yeah.
said something about they were giving they were basically feeding Biden Ambien and different things. But I've not seen the entire. I don't think I could watch the entire thing without losing my mind. But
What they wanted
um,
him to sleep? Is that what the deal was? Is that why they were giving him Ambien
well, I don't know.
to knock him out?
I who knows? I really don't. It's you.
Wow.
There's no way that you can look at his performance in different
E-
areas
Everybody knew
and
before he was elected that he was demented.
oh
Everybody
yeah,
knew. Yeah. I
oh yeah.
mean,
But my point is, you can't look at him. You can pick any five appearances that he had, and you had at
mhm.
least three different Bidens show up to that.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
that's not normal. When
Yeah.
Trump
I'm.
goes somewhere, you got Trump. That's it.
Yeah.
That's him. He's the same everywhere.
And I'm one of the people who subscribe to the theory that he was chosen because he was demented. Joe
Oh,
Biden. That's why he
yeah.
was chosen. Yeah.
He was put in place because he could be. He was a figurehead.
Yep.
He was not calling
And,
the
and and
shots.
I've long said this. I suspected this about Robert Mueller too, but because you haven't heard boo from him, have you?
Oh, he evaporated.
Yeah, after he
He's
had that one the only time he ever made an appearance during the Mueller, investigation, the only time he ever made an appearance, everybody's like, "What's wrong with him?" There's
yeah.
something wrong with him.
I mean, he
Yeah.
he literally did the ninja smoke bomb trick. He just said, "Poof,
No,
gone."
I think they were using his name. They were using his name probably because of the condition he was in. And
Well,
that guy Weissman is the one who ran that whole deal.
they were
That
using
that
his name to give it
yeah.
credibility.
Yep.
But
So
well, shit, Matt, we're 23 minutes in and we haven't even gotten through telling what stories we're going to cover.
oh
So what do you what do you want to start with? What stories?
well, let's start with the Wall Street Journal one because I that's fresh in my mind right now. And then let's talk about the Obama stuff.
The Wall Street Journal talking about Trump.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is more fake news, but now it's fake news getting what's coming for them, right? Basically, uh, the Wall Street Journal was running some tabloid stuff. They were trying to get Trump, and they thought this was really going to get him. They thought this was really going to get him. And for all those out there who may or may not know, the Wall Street Journal is part of News Corp, and News Corp is Fox News, Sky News, right?
Yeah.
It's Wall Street Journal. It's the New York Post. It's a massive conglomerate
Yeah,
run
much
by the
more than you would think.
Yeah, by the Rupert Murdoch family, right? And Rupert Murdoch hates Donald Trump, hates him, right? And then even more than half the Rupert Murdoch family is leftist. They're
Yes.
radical leftists. Rupert and Lachlan, his one son, aren't, and they just lost the lawsuit of control of Fox News after Rupert steps down or goes away, right? And uh, the Wall Street Journal runs an article that Donald Trump sent a birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein with some lewd drawing of a woman on it, wishing him a happy birthday. At the same time, they said, we don't have a copy of this. They were just
And
running this,
this
right?
card was supposedly sent in 2003.
Yes.
Just so you know, this was
So
22 years ago. But go ahead.
Trump got news they were going to do this, and he told them, he says, "Look, this is a bullshit story. There's no truth to this whatsoever. And if you run it, I'm going to come after you, right? Because he says it's a complete bullshit."
Yeah.
So they ran it. The Wall Street Journal ran it, and it backfired. Like everything the mainstream media does, and make no mistake, Fox News and the Wall Street Journal, they're all part of mainstream media now. All of them.
Yes.
Okay. And it backfired right in their face. And Trump says, okay. He says, you got it. So Trump is suing them. How much is he suing them for? $10 billion. And he's
10
also
billion.
he's named Rupert Murdoch in the lawsuit. So
Yes.
so when I say it backfired, massive canceled subscriptions to the Wall Street Journal. See, Fox News thinks that they have more power than they do because the older conservative crowd all watches Fox News because Fox News has been a staple for 30 some years now, right?
Yeah.
So the Wall
But
Street Journal was always considered.
Fox News today isn't the Fox News they were 20 years ago by any means.
Ever since Roger Ailes left. Ever
Yes.
since Roger Ailes left. And it makes you wonder if all the stuff they did to go after Roger Ailes was all bullshit. I suspect it was. Okay?
Yeah.
And even making a movie about it called Bombshell, okay? But anyways,
Based on
um
a true story.
yeah. So so right now the the subscription numbers for the Wall Street Journal are cratering, absolutely cratering, and now everybody is looking at Rupert Murdoch, right? So Trump is suing him for $10 billion. Now it's going to get assigned because it's in New York. It's going to get assigned to an Obama judge. I forget the name of the
Yep.
judge. That judge is going to try to end this lawsuit. Trump is going to appeal, and it's going to get past that. It's going to drag out, but it's going to really drag News Corp through the mud, and they will probably be adding on to some of the other wings that CBS and ABC or whoever else, CNN, Trump's already sued and won, right? uh, they're probably going to be adding on to a full wing of the Trump library because Trump is going to win this lawsuit. You just can't run. And these people, they've the media in this country is so absolutely corrupt. It is so crooked. It's propaganda for the deep state. That's what it is. Okay. Or for the establishment, if you want to use more genteel words. Okay. So, in the worst case scenario, it's propaganda for the deep state. In the best case scenario, it's propaganda for the establishment. Okay. So, now, right on cue, the White House kicks the Wall Street Journal out. So, they're not getting any of the press briefings or anything
Oh,
for the White House.
hey,
Right. Yeah. and of course mainstream media, this organization that they have, are screaming First Amendment violations. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's not First Amendment. You do not have a right to run 100% fabricated bullshit stories, lying, trying to destroy somebody's reputation. And that's what they thought they were doing here. And they're gone. They're gone. So
Yeah.
it couldn't happen to anybody. Anybody who subscribes to the Wall Street Journal, why? Why are you listening to the Wall Street Journal anymore? It is a shit organization. Anything that Fox News still has some really good hosts, right? And they've got
Yeah,
some really good hosts, but
we've got Time Force 80 on YouTube. He says the entire country is corrupt. That's why we are here where we are today. And
Mhm.
you're absolutely right. The government has become they've become entirely
Too big.
so much more than what they were ever intended to be. The
Hmm.
federal government was intended to be very small with very, very limited power. The
Hmm.
power was supposed to be in the states because you and I, but the more local it is, the more control you should have over it because the more direct impact it has on your life.
Hmm.
You know, it should be, community, county, state.
Yeah.
Because what why is someone in DC it shouldn't be that way, but people have gotten to the point where they're abdicating responsibility. Look at what Congress has done with all of these EPA and ATF,
Hmm.
all of these government agencies that they just abdicate. Oh, you guys decide how this law is going to be implemented. You guys
Yeah.
figure it out because they
So,
can go back and say, "Hey, it wasn't us. That was those guys over there." No, that's you. You're the
yeah.
one writing the law. You're the one responsible for how it's written, how it's implemented, and how it's interpreted. But they abdicate that. But it
Yeah.
wasn't me because they want to get reelected. And
Hmm.
that's what it's become is a freaking power play. Politician was never intended to be a career. It
and
was
and
intended
and
to be
a,
a
mil,
service.
a multi-million dollar making endeavor, right?
Yes.
They, here's the good thing with the abolition of USAID, with NPR going the way of the dodo bird, right? With with the Department of Education uh, uh, going bye-byes, right? All of this is a huge positive step in the right direction, but there's so many more that need to go. This is what they've
Yeah.
done with these federal employees. I remember, I remember, Stu, you remember when I got out of active duty, it was around 2011-ish time
Mm-hmm.
frame. And anybody trying to get a job, okay, I can tell you, I can speak from experience. Anybody trying to get a job at one of these federal agencies, coming uh, from infantry units, coming from combat arms in the military, or coming from special operations,
Coming from
struggle.
units that were involved in the shit.
Yeah, we struggled to get jobs in any of these agencies doing anything. And everybody's scratching their head. They're like, why? Because that was the Obama administration at that time. And they were constructing what we're dealing with right now. Okay. So they were picking who they hired. Right. And here's how they did it. And this is my opinion. Okay. This is my opinion on how they did this. They did it through the polygraphs. Right. They did it through the polygraphs. Why? Because the polygraph says what the individual who's interpreting it says the polygraph says, the administrator, right? That's
Very
why they're not,
subjective.
yep, that's why they're not admissible in courts, right?
Yep.
That's what they did. In my opinion, that's what they did. So, um, unless you had strong family connections to one certain side, Democrat side, right? You probably weren't getting hired or some other thing that looked attractive to them. You know what I mean? But if you were what's the secret here? I'm saying most people in the military, especially in combat arms, but I'm going to say across the military, have more of a conservative bend to them. Okay, and it's not just a little; it's significant. Would you agree with that, Stu?
I I would agree with that when we were in.
Yeah, we'll see.
At this point now,
who knows? Yeah.
I think it still skews that way. I don't think it skews that way as much as it did.
Well, look what they did. I mean, look what they did to federal
No,
service
exactly.
back
Yeah.
in the day. Federal service skewed hardcore to the right, right?
Yes.
I met an individual who I went out and gave a speech for because he was part of the Lions Club or something, and he's a retired, an old timer FBI agent, and we got in a long conversation. And boy, oh boy, he doesn't even recognize what that agency is anymore. And this was a couple years ago. So yeah, it's one of these things. We see how they did it. The thing is, the administrative state was intentionally corrupted. It's been going on for even longer than Obama. If we want to be clear on this, right? They're used that administrative state because they're unelected. They don't leave after a few years. They stay there for a whole career, right?
Yep.
And they can do the damage from the inside, and you know that they're going to do that damage because you hired them and formed their belief system,
Well,
right? That's
and
what you did.
that was the whole thing with Obama and Lois Lerner with
Mhm.
the
The IRS, yeah, and the
IRS,
501c3, yeah,
and that was
conservative
things like
501c3s.
she did not have to be instructed as to what to do. She was hired because of what
And
she
she
would
would
do. It's like,
exactly.
I don't need to hire a tiger and say, "Hey, tiger, I want you to go kill this gazelle." I hired this tiger because I have a gazelle problem. The tiger's going to go and do tiger shit and eat gazelles.
There you go. That is
I mean,
Stu. That is one of the best explanations right there. That
every
I've
now and
heard
then I
on
get
this.
one.
Yes,
I
and
mean,
that you
tiger's
can
going to
get
do
that
tiger
there.
shit and eat gazelles. That's about it.
Tiger is going to do tiger shit and eat gazelles. It's exactly right, and that's spot on. It is spot on.
But
So
and continuing with that with Obama and his administration, and I want to say, well, hold on, one thing. How
mhm.
old is Obama? Before I bring this picture up,
I'm going to say he's in his 60s now.
all right, Obama's 63.
Yeah.
Okay, and Trump is how old?
Oh, Trump is pushing 80,
80.
late 70s, early 80s. Yeah. He's like 79, 81, somewhere around there.
How do I type Trump age and it can't give me his age? How old is Trump? He's like 80, right at 80.
Yeah. He's right around there.
All right, Trump's 79. Okay.
Okay.
Trump is 79, Obama's 63.
Mhm.
That's a 16-year age difference, 17-year age difference.
Mhm.
All right. The story that we're talking about is the Russia Gate thing. Now
Yeah.
I want to bring this picture up and you tell me who looks better in this picture, and they want to talk about Trump's health. Which one of these two individuals looks healthier?
Absolutely. Donald Trump. Well, testosterone tends to make men a little healthier, right?
I mean,
Estrogen makes men
have you
age.
ever seen the Matthew McConaughey movie Dallas Buyers Club?
No, I've never seen that.
That's Obama.
What does he have?
It's a movie it's supposed to be in the 70s,
Does
80s.
the guy gets AIDS or something? Didn't that?
Right. And
Yeah.
they're bootlegging medication from Mexico because of the US and reasons and blah blah blah. But
Mhm.
yeah, McConaughey looks like absolute hammered dog shit in this movie, and Obama could take his place in this picture right here.
Yeah.
But you look at these two individuals right here, and you tell me who's
Well,
in better health. But at any rate,
imagine though, and you can kind of understand it, the physical trauma that one spouse is alleged to have been bringing for a long time. That takes a
Wow.
toll, man. That takes a toll. That's a joke. That's a
Apparently.
joke, YouTube. YouTube, that's a joke. So
Well, yeah, who knows what trauma he's undergone as president? It's a stressful job. It is.
oh yeah. So
But
um
what's happening here is we like Matt and I were talking about a little bit earlier. Friday, Tulsi Gabbard, they released information that basically pointed to Obama being
well
dead center of this.
here's what it said. Here's the real part that
Yeah, go ahead.
there was an intel report that was put together, right? And it was supposed to be briefed publicly to everybody, Congress, everybody. And that intel brief came out after a big study and everything else. The 2016 election, the Russians had no significant impact in manipulating anything in the
Yeah.
2016. And the Obama administration stopped it. Okay. Then they ordered a new study, and that new study said exactly what they wanted it to say.
Oh,
Then they
wait,
took
heavens to Betsy. Say it
yep,
isn't so, Matt.
that's
Manipulation? I
yep,
don't think so.
and
Not
then
the
they put it
Democrats.
out to the Clapper, Brennan, Comey, and their sycophants and the propaganda outlets that we were talking about for the deep state, right? And they ran with it. Everybody ran with it. They destroyed people's lives. It was all bullshit. They knew it was all bullshit, and they pushed it every night in the mainstream media. And then they pushed it to Congress. They lied to Congress, right? So this thing has blown up, and now it's just spreading out with fingers how dishonest they were at every single point, and manipulated and lied and set things up that were fake, and ran a 100% operation to destroy the presidency of Donald Trump in the 26 in from 2016 till 2020. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they did.
And
And
the funny thing is, and Matt brought that point up, which directly speaks to Obama's refutation of this accusation. And he says nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes. Nothing that Trump said has anything to do with Russia manipulating votes. He's talking about the hoax that he was involved with
mhm,
Russia trying to manipulate votes. So they do the
they
Snopes
impeached
thing.
him. They impeached him on this bullshit.
Yes. So and I don't know if you guys know what Snopes is. It's a fact check website.
Left wing bullshit. Yeah.
But what they do is they'll take and fact check something that was never in conversation, just like this right here. Trump's, hey Matt, you went dark. I'm not sure what you're doing.
I'm responding to something right here. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay. But what Trump is saying is that no, you were involved in the Russia hoax, which was what, like Matt said, Trump was impeached for, basically for being an agent of Putin. He was working with Russia to manipulate ABC and X, Y, and Z, the
When the
Steele
people
dossier, the
when the
P
people that
tapes.
yep, when the people that were working with Russia was actually the other side. The the Hillary
Exactly.
campaign, uh even the Obama admit I mean no, it's absolutely treasonous. He absolutely needs to go down for this. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of everything he's been involved with. I think we are going to see this thing really start to finger out into every single aspect of that presidency. And the damage he put in place and the damage that he did to this country is unfathomable. And now
It,
the American people are going to start to see it. Go ahead.
it really is, because he took full advantage of the cult of personality that he had in place, and he took full advantage of the, I guess, the racial shield that he had. Anything that was a criticized that Obama did, you were racist. Oh,
Hmm.
Obama just droned an American citizen in Yemen. You're just racist.
Yep.
There was nothing he could do that anyone, and that was still at a point in time where being called a racist actually meant something. It doesn't anymore. They
No.
burned that out. It means
Nope.
nothing.
Nope.
But that was what he did. He could do no wrong as far as the press
Hmm.
and the political class were concerned. And he absolutely took 100% advantage of that. And there, like you said, there's a ton of stuff with this right here, the Russia collusion, all that with the Steele dossier, all of that known to be, irrelevant bullshit.
Hmm.
And they pushed it anyway because it served a purpose.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Oh
what
yeah.
I'm really hoping they come around with. But
Stu, I heard
it's
something. I heard something yesterday because they were talking about. We've talked about it on here for a long time. The how Europe has destroyed itself through third world immigration, right?
oh yeah,
Well, check.
I've got
Here's
a
what I.
story on that,
Well,
as a matter of fact.
here's
But
what I
yeah,
here's what I heard. Okay, and tell me if you heard this as well. I heard there was. Okay, we already saw what they were using USAID to do. Funnel money to things. And we've talked about this on this show. Do you think George Soros is spending his money for this stuff? No. Hell no, he's not. Right? Because it would be spread out, even for a billionaire like him, he would be spread out too thin. It's
yeah,
all
spend
throughout
other
Europe.
people's money.
So,
Why spend
so
your own when you
spend,
can spend other
spend
people's?
other people's U.S. taxpayer money, right? So there's an organization that we paid. We used this organization that was George Soros affiliated organization to go over and encourage these European countries financially to import loads and loads and loads of third world immigrants. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yes. Yeah, I got to dig into it more. I'll tell you the name of the organization when I get it again. I was told, I forget it right now. I think it had like 3 letters, but it was a U.S. organization affiliated with George Soros, and money was being funneled via the grift that we've already seen laid out to us with USAID. And I'm sure that's
Yeah.
just the tip of the iceberg. That's why you see Trump going after the Fed. That's another organization. The Fed is not constitutional, by the way. Uh,
No.
so
The Fed is not federal.
yeah.
It is not a federal institution,
Hmm.
despite its name.
You're seeing Trump have the Fed in his crosshairs right now, and
Yeah.
that's another story that's going to continue to grow in the upcoming months or year or so. So,
All right.
anyways, I wanted to see if you had heard that, but go ahead with this next story you were going to bring up.
Well, I think that the next, I've got a couple of things I want to hit where not that we ever end when we're supposed to, but so that we end somewhat when we're supposed to. I want to go through a couple of these ICE / illegal immigrant stories that
Okay.
we have. The primary one being the one that has a lot of the headlines at the moment is the one with the border patrol agent in New York.
Hmm.
And originally, because it was being reported as border patrol agent, and
Sue,
even
you're
Matt and I, when
mute.
we
I don't
first
know if you
talked
can
this
hear me or
morning,
not. I can't hear you at all. Your
you
lips are
can't hear
moving, but
me.
nothing's happening. I think you must have hit a button.
Um, I don't know. Hey guys, quick in the chat, can you hear me at
I can't
all?
hear you.
Because I'm showing good on my end.
Can you hear me? Give me a
Yeah,
thumbs
I
up
can
if you
hear
can hear
you.
me. I can't hear you at all.
All right.
Is anybody putting comments on they can hear you or not?
Not yet. I asked. Can you guys post in the comments if you
Give
can
me a
hear me?
thumbs
I'm
up if
showing
anybody
good.
else is saying they can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm showing good on my end with mic level and everything. Can you guys post in the chat if you can hear? Okay. Freedom just said he can hear me. All right. So we're good with the chat.
I can't hear you.
Yep, I'm good.
I'll,
Okay, they can hear. You are good. I am good.
okay, give me a thumbs up if other people can hear you. They can. Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna dip from the show and I'll come back.
Okay. All right. So Matt's going to dip. He's going to bounce back. You know, we have our charming duct tape production here that you guys all love and enjoy. But the the big thing on this story here, and the reason I think that it really got as much traffic as it did, is it was a border patrol agent that was shot by an illegal alien. Let me pull Matt back in.
I think
Hey
it's
Matt.
partially. I think it's partially. It's so, dude. I'm so hot here because it's hot out here now.
Uh
And I think my phone is boiling up. So I think it might be my phone doing this.
Okay. Yeah. The everybody could hear both of us. You just couldn't hear me. So we were both still good as far as the audience was concerned.
Okay.
But right here, the reason I think the story got as much as attention as it did was because it involved a border patrol agent. But everything I've seen since this story is that it wasn't because he was border patrol.
Now,
And
are you getting that information via trusted sources, or is this the media pushing this out there because they don't want to look guilty because they've been trying to dox border patrol agents?
you know, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. The reason I'm saying that along with the story is that it basically looks like he was out on a date with someone. I haven't seen anything where it said that he was, you know, I haven't seen anything that pointed to it being a targeted effort.
Okay.
But basically this guy was out. It seems like he was out on a date. He was armed. He retaliated after the event and wounded the other individual. But the funny thing is, and I heard this reference in another show that I had been listening to. Surveillance camera footage of the incident showed two men pulling up on a moped before parking after they spotted the victims. All right, I'm going to ask you guys, how many videos have you seen on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, of
Third
these
worlders robbing people
third
with
worlders
mopeds. Yep.
rolling up, nuts to butts on a moped to instigate this? This is what's happening. We are importing crime into the country, and down here we get the individual here. This is the brain, the future brain surgeon that is going to be saving lives of children in the womb that the horrible Trump administration is trying to deport, because all he's trying to do by shooting border patrol agents in the face is get enough money to buy books for brain surgery school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
He wants
all.
to go. He wants to go do brain surgery shit.
Yes. Yes, he wants to go to brain surgery school to save babies in the womb and orphans in orphanages and that ride the buses with the nuns. That's his goal in life. And but I mean, unfortunately, at the time of his arrest for the shooting, he was wanted on kidnapping and weapons charges out of Massachusetts. But I'm sure this was all a misunderstanding. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But these are the people that the Democrats are fighting tooth and nail to keep in the country. And like Matt said with the Dignity Act from 2021. So if you've snuck into the country, that's everyone during the Biden administration.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone that Biden allowed into the country illegally.
No, I think there's no. I think it's anybody before 2021 is what they're saying.
Oh, before 2021.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. You entered the country illegally. You do not get rewarded for that. I'm sorry if it fucks up your family plans and what you had planned for your family or whatever. You do not get rewarded for that. That's not the way this works. But in addition to this, and I'll knock these out real quick in case there's another story we want to get to and run over a little bit.
We can't run over, Stu. This phone is causing me some difficulty. I've got the air conditioning blowing on it right now.
All right, I'll knock out one or two of these here. Right here. An immigration enforcement officers in Chicago arrested a Mexican illegal immigrant who was released by a judge following accusations he decapitated a missing Illinois woman and stored her body in a container with bleach.
Oh, boy.
Not enough to hold him. Let's let him out. All right. ICE to arrest illegal alien set to be released in California. This guy, drunk and high off his ass at 100 miles an hour, impacted another vehicle, killing 2 people. Sentenced to 10 years. Yeah. Gavin Newsom decides, 3.5 years is enough for this shit bag. Let's let him go. Let's release him back on the populace. And we've got here an illegal with 67 arrests is bagged in Sacramento.
67 arrests.
67. And we get down here, and here's just here's a small number. Multiple instances of transport and sale of narcotics. Felony burglary, illegal entry, carrying a loaded firearm in public, multiple instances of providing false identification to LEO, multiple instances of felony possession of marijuana for sale, revocation of probation, under the influence, possession of narcotic with an intent to sell. How? Unless it's intentional. It can't be accidental. All of this over here, all of this on my screen here, this isn't accidental. It's intentional.
Mm-hmm. Intentional destruction.
We get down here, some of the others they arrested. Let me see. We've got another guy here they arrested in the same sting. Raped a teen under 14 years old. Convicted of molesting a child in Ontario.
Isn't that becoming a common occurrence with these illegals? Isn't this becoming super common? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, this guy. And again, these are all different people. I know the names, rhyme, but it's all different. We've got this illegal, convicted of molesting a child in California. We've got another one, convicted of aggravated assault after being accused of repeatedly sexually assaulting a young girl over the course of several years. Another one, induced a minor for sex and assaulted a police officer. The last one, illegal alien smuggler. Why would we import crime when we have enough things to deal with that are homegrown? Why would we import someone else, some other nation's troubles? No, let them deal with their own people versus sending them here. But that's the illegal alien crap that I've found, and it's not hard.
There are just multiple crimes. It's not only Juan, it's multiple crimes.
It's not Juan. But And that's the thing with this. And this right here, like this guy right here, one guy with 67 arrests. So these are how many times he's been arrested. Would you hazard a guess
that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
as to how many other how many other things he was involved in that don't make it to the arrest that he just gets away with?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. We'll just say 50% of the time they arrest a person. And Matt, you done law enforcement, but 50% of the time they get the guy to an arrest for a crime. That's still saying one guy's responsible for 130 incidents.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's still in the country.
Yep.
And that's I'm sorry. I think it's being pretty generous to say that, you know, they arrest someone for every crime that's committed. They arrest someone for every 2 crimes that are committed. I think that's being a bit generous.
Oh yeah, it is being a bit generous. Hey Stu, do we have any comments because we haven't talked of any comments. Do we have any that we need to hit?
We do have a couple. Well, Troy showed up, you know, better late than never, but he wants us to start the show over again. I told him that's not going to happen.
We'll start it over. We'll finish it, and then 5 minutes after that, we'll start another one.
Well, I told him he could take the little bar at the bottom and drag it to the left. But that's on him. He can't show up on time. But, you know, show up on time or just get here when you can. Either one we're good with.
Troy, we appreciate you. You're here all the time.
Absolutely, Troy. Freedom was talking about Obama's personal chef, wasn't he the one that died in the paddleboarding accident?
Yeah, the paddleboarding in like 3 feet of water. Yeah. And the Obamas were out of town. Then it turns out they were in town. That's never been fully explained. Exactly.
No, it just kind of disappeared.
Just like the Las Vegas shooting. That's never been explained. None of it. And you haven't heard anything from the girlfriend. They arrested the brother for some like child porn bullshit. You know, is that legit? It's sad that we have to question everything.
It really is, and I don't know. I don't know if it's rose-colored glasses, if it's just the difference in the level of technology, but I remember growing up, and maybe it is just, you know, being Pollyanna-ish about things, but I mean, I remember growing up and even into my mid to late 20s thinking the government's looking out, the government's doing their job, they're doing the right thing. You know, but the older I get, and I guess the more information that is available.
But down there in South Georgia, it was called the government, wasn't it? The government.
Yeah. But, you know, the more I realize that no, they don't give a shit about anyone but themselves. It is a dog eat dog. And if they have to sacrifice you to get what they want, peace out. I hope, you know, I hope your mom and them are doing good because you gone. It doesn't matter. But yeah, Freedom was saying, you know, it was an accidental drowning. You know, he wasn't Clintonized.
Yeah.
But yeah, Freedom also brought up talking about your Dignity Act. He says, Representative Salazar's website reads, the Dignity Act is based on biblical principles of dignity.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we're and you know what?
He's going to shame us.
You can be as dignified as you want, but you have to, if you're breaking the law, you then can't claim I'm being dignified.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, if you disagree with it, petition. I mean, otherwise, if all of us 2A members were like, oh, you know what? All of these 2A restrictions are undignified, and we ran around, you know, just lolly, just doing the bullshittery and jackassery that's involved here with all of this, there'd be a lot more news stories to cover than what there are. But that's not the way you approach things. But
exactly.
a lot of Democrats, it seems that they never matured past 12 years old, where their only option when they don't get what they want is to throw a tantrum. And a 12-year-old in a 30-year-old's body version of pitching a tantrum is setting shit on fire. And that's what we see when you look around at a lot of these cities with all this crap going on, is they're burning to the ground.
Yep. Well, that's what they're there to do. They're doing lion shit, dude.
Hey, they are.
Oh shit. Any more comments?
That's it. And Freedom said he's calling Tom Homan about the 67 arrests. But yeah. And I get where people are frustrated with the numbers of deportations, and I've seen some people say Obama did more.
Oh, Obama changed the definition. If you turn somebody around at the border, that was a deportation. It was all smoke and mirrors and lies.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the exact point. Obama was turning them around at the border.
And the whole judiciary was on Obama's side. They're against Trump. So yeah. I think the Trump administration is winning. They're panicking.
And you're exactly right. That was the exact point I was about to make, is Obama was turning them around at the border and counting that as a deportation. Trump has shut the border down, and he is going and getting people that are breaking the law. That is something that hasn't been done.
Homan is kicking ass too. Homan, yeah.
I don't think ever that we've gone in and gotten people, and they're like, oh, well, they're my neighbor. They've lived here. I don't care. They're not here legally. Again, my thing is, name me another country on the face of the planet I can illegally enter, demand they give me services that are meant for citizens, and then file lawsuits when they tell me I can't be there. It doesn't happen. You do not have a country if you do not have borders. It's not complicated. It really isn't.
Yep. All right, dude. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I want to thank everybody for being a patriot. I want to thank everybody for bringing more to this show than we do. Okay. And please meet us here next week at the same time, and live in freedom every day. Thank you so much for taking part in this show. It's a small group of us, but it is a very substantial group. We thank you all.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. We appreciate every one of you that joins and takes time out of your week to spend with us. Listen to Matt and I rant at a computer screen and a webcam. We appreciate it. Appreciate all of you that pitch in and comment. It means a lot. I love it when there's the chats going off. But if you can't catch us live, catch us on the repeat, and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Live in freedom every day.